What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video with CR Sports Analysis. Um, been slacking a couple days, but today we're back at it. Today is the 25th, March 25th, 2025, and I'm gonna go over 6 games in the NBA today. Um, with my predictions and analysis, and let's get straight into it. The first game that I really tried to dig deep into was the Golden State at Miami game. Just some quick facts about this game. Golden State Warriors are 18 and 16 away on the season, while Miami is 16 and 19 at home. Golden State Warriors are 8 and 2 in their last 10 games, and Miami is 1 and 9 in their last 10 games. So 1 and 9 in their last 10 games for Miami is, the start of points that we're gonna point to to take Golden State money line. I want to take Golden State money line. I know they're the favorite, but this Miami team is a good team, and who knows what will happen. Who knows what will happen? But let's dig a little bit more deep into it. Golden State, they average 113 points per game. Miami averages 109. On the defensive side of things, the points allowed per game are the same at both 110. So they kind of got the same defense. The only thing Golden State is better defensive-wise, statistically-wise, are their blocks and steals. Golden State averages around 5 blocks per game, while Miami averages 3.8. And with steals, Golden State averages 9 steals a game, while Miami averages 7. So if Golden State can get to Miami a little bit on the defensive side of things, then Golden State should, be the winner in this game. Curry is questionable for this game, so if Curry does play, I really like Golden State. But if Curry does not play, I might be a little hesitant to, go with Golden State. But I do think they are the better team, and I do think they're trying to get into good playoff shape and good playoff form. A little bit more facts about this game. The Golden State Warriors are 16 and 3 with Jimmy Butler. On the other hand, Miami is 3 and 10 with Wiggins. So, Miami struggling in their last 13 games with Wiggins. Also, they're 1 and 9. They just won their last game. They've been struggling. So those are just some facts about that game. The player props that I do have for that game are right here. For that game, I have Wiggins for 15 points, Jimmy Butler for 15 points, and Bam for 6 to 8 rebounds. I would go onto the Props Cash website and do the analysis, but this will be a short video today. We're not going to get into too much player prop analysis. Besides the two games that I will get, the 2 players that I will get an analysis for are the players that are kind of in bold. So Karl Anthony Towns, 12 rebounds, and Jusef Nurkic over 6 points. Those are going to be my only 2, player props that you can find anywhere, not alternate lines or anything. So, yeah, just for that Golden State at Miami game, Wiggins 15 points, Butler 15 points, Bam 6 to 8 rebounds. Maybe throw Golden State money line on there. For this next game, Atlanta at Houston. I didn't dig deep into it like I did the Golden State Miami game, but I did get some player props out of there. Jabari Smith. We're looking at Jabari Smith, 4 rebounds. Trae Young, 15 points. I really like Jalen Green for 15 points. I really like that prop. I didn't know you couldn't do that. Okay. Well, now you know. Jalen Green, 15 points. I really like him for 15 points today. I think he does good. Dyson Daniels, 1 steal. And I do like Atlanta spread +8. And let me show you why I do like the Atlanta spread +8. So, if you go onto the covers, I'm Not really sure why it's not wanting to work. Yeah, man. Let's get into it. Let's get right. Let's get better. Atlanta at Houston. The reason I chose Atlanta's spread is, for one, in the last 10 games that Houston has played Atlanta, Houston has never beat them back-to-back games in the last 10 that they played head-to-head. Atlanta is 7-3 in the last 10. They've been on a good 10-game run. Houston is the better team on a 9-1 game run. Now, they just lost to a Denver team yesterday without Jokic, and that Denver team without Jokic has been struggling. Maybe as of recent, they kind of pulled it together without Jokic being in the lineup, but um, you know, they kind of let the Houston fans down for that game. So, just looking at this, how the Rockets have never won back-to-back games, I kind of like the Atlanta spread. And another reason I like that spread is because they're 8-2 against the spread in the last 10 games versus Houston. So yeah, 8-2 right here. I like that. I like how they haven't, beat them back to back. So I probably would take Atlanta spread. If we go on the injury side of things now, Houston should blow this team out. But, I think Houston might be a little lax for this game. They might, undermine Atlanta. They might not take them as serious. So, Atlanta comes into this game hot on a 7-3 spurt. Averaging over 120 points in the last 3 games. And they beat Golden State, by the way. They beat Golden State. And, Houston barely beating Miami. Barely beating Orlando. 8-point spread for that game as well. Just looking at the close games here, barely beat Philly. Meanwhile, Atlanta blew Philly out the water. I know it's different games, different days. Players feel different, but I do like Atlanta +8. Going over to the next game, we'll be looking at Cleveland at Portland. Now, I do not have any player prop set for this game as of yet, and they probably won't be in this video, but I did take Cleveland. I want to take Cleveland money line because, fun fact, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 6-0 without Donovan Mitchell this season. That's pretty good. Being 6-0 without, your star player is pretty good. They just beat the Jazz. Jazz is not a great team. They're 6-4 in their last 10. I do believe they are going to start picking back up. After this win, it gave them some confidence without Donovan Mitchell at that. So I'm thinking, well, let me check. I'm not sure if he did play in that game or not. And he did. Donovan Mitchell did play in this game. So that doesn't matter. But coming off a win, I do think that boosts their confidence just a little bit. Head to head, Cavs are 7-3 against them in the last 10. Now, last time they did play was a very, very close game. March 2nd, they went to overtime. I actually watched that game. Denny Avita was turning up against them. But I do think, that the Cavs have something to prove this season. They're first in the East. They want to keep this going into the end. They want to get into better playoff form. Without Mitchell, they're 6-0, so I'm just going to ride that trend. And plus their spread is 6.5, so it gives them room to be the favorite. It's sitting at -250, and their total is at 229. So I do think Cleveland can put up numbers on this Portland team. Well, on the other hand, Portland is 4-6 in the last 10. They just came off a loss to Boston. They were on a 4-game win streak. They beat Denver. They beat Memphis. They beat some good teams during that span. I just think it comes down to teams undermining the other team. I do think that Cleveland, since they played against Portland again last time and they went into overtime, I do think that they will remember that and kind of say, okay, from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, we're gonna go all in against this team. We're not gonna undermine them like they did last time. We want to go all in, and I do think the Cavaliers do that. So I just have Cavaliers money line, just because they're 6-0 without Donovan Mitchell this season. And it's the same thing for the OKC and Sacramento game. So that's the next game we're gonna get into. For this OKC Sacramento game, I am, probably taking OKC. Probably throwing them on a parlay. They're 9-1 in the last 10. Sacramento is 3-7 in the last 10. Mind you, they are playing good teams. They did beat the Cavs. They did beat Memphis. But a loss to Chicago, a loss to Milwaukee, a loss to Boston, their confidence starts to go back down a little bit. They're 18-18 at home this season. OKC is 28-7 away. You know, OKC has beat them in every single game they played since February 11th, 2024, all the way up to February 1st, 2025. And they have been blowout games at that. They played 2 times this season, and both times they blew them out. And on Sacramento's side of things, I do think Sabonis is back. It really just comes down to if Chet Holmgren is playing. If Chet Holmgren is playing and Jalen Williams is playing, then I do think that is an easy win for OKC. But I'm just taking, OKC money line and then SGA 20 points, obviously, for that game. And moving on to the next game. These 2 next games that I'm going to show, I do have player props for that game, but I do not have game research for that game. What I mean by game research is the determined money line or the determined spread. I haven't looked into much of that. I just mainly like the player props. So, alternate lines for this Orlando at Charlotte game. Paolo Banchero, 15 to 20 points. 15 is pretty much guaranteed for him against Charlotte. And also LaMelo Ball, 15 to 20 points at home. LaMelo Ball, 15 points at home, pretty much guaranteed against this Orlando team. And the first player prop that we're going to go into today is Jusef Nurkic over 5.5 points. And let's pull that up. Pull Jusef Nurkic up. 5.5 points should be very, very slight. I do think he comes off the bench. Mark Williams is the starter. Mark Williams might have a, tough game starting out, so they put him in early. Jusef Nurkic is 100% versus Orlando. He had 9 against them on February 12th, and now I know he's on a new team now. So it's not, these numbers should, fly around. His last game that he played against Miami, he had a 25% usage rate. So we're just going to put that up to 10. And then he's been averaging around 15 to 20 minutes a game, averaging roughly 16 minutes a game. So we're going to put him up to 14 minutes. And just looking off the bat, in his last 20 games, he has never went back-to-back games where he did not get 6 points. So that's a plus for us. The second plus is he's 100% head-to-head versus Orlando. And the third plus is on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday, in his last 26 games that he's played on a Tuesday, he's went over in 25 of 26 games. So, I do like Jusef Nurkic over 5.5 points. And if we go over to the center side of things, Orlando is pretty good. They're third in the league at allowing center points. But, you know, Jusef Nurkic is coming off the bench. And, bench players for Orlando, I'm pretty sure they only consist of, let me see, who would guard him if he came in? I'm not even sure because I don't look at. Okay, so they got Wendell Carter Jr. as their center. But it doesn't seem to me they have a backup, So if Wendell Carter comes in, him and Mark Williams guarding each other, I do think that Jusef Nurkic being in, they might try to play small ball. Not necessarily saying small ball because Orlando does have a, tall team, way taller than the Hornets. But Jusef Nurkic with his experience, I do think he comes in and gets three buckets at home today. So yeah, Jusef Nurkic over 5.5 points. And moving over to our last game, Dallas at New York Knicks. I had OG Anunoby for 10 points. And the second player prop that I do like today is Karl Anthony Towns over 11.5 rebounds. Now, the reason I like this is because in his last 30 games, he has never went 4 games in a row where that 5th game he went under 12 rebounds. He has always went on a 4-game span where he got over 12 rebounds the next game after 4 games. So that's just what we're looking at. On the season, like I said, he had these 4 games right here where he went under, boom, went over the next. 4 games right here, went under, boom, went over the next. Right here, 4 games under, boom, went over the next. And what I do like about this is Dallas, I do believe they had Anthony Davis back for a split second and he got injured again. So no Anthony Davis for Dallas, meaning Karl Anthony Towns has size in the paint. And Dallas is 25th in the league in allowing centers and the opposing team rebounds. So they allow around 15 rebounds per game to centers, which is crazy. So yeah, over 12 for Karl Anthony Towns. Head to head doesn't really mean that much. I mean, I can't tell if this game right here was a game where they played against them recently. But let me see if they played against them recently or this year at all. I don't really see Dallas in the last 20 games. I can't tell. I'll have to go look that up. But, I also like the offensive rebounding. They're ranked 29th in the league. Centers average around 5.46 offensive rebounds per game. So that gives Towns another opportunity to get around 2-3 boards on offense, maybe 9 defensive boards. So yeah, that's just the quick analysis I have for him. Just looking at these 4 games, and these 4 games, hoping he goes over the next. And it's been like that all season. Hasn't went more than 4 games without getting 12 rebounds. So that is what I have for today. Short video, not enough player analysis. We will get into that more. But I just wanted to go over the main things I have today and get straight to the point and get the details out that I need. So I'm hoping that today is successful, and I hope it's successful for you as well, and I hope you have a great day. And if you watched this far in the video, I thank you and I very much appreciate you. And if you could spread this video, like it, comment, subscribe, share the share the wealth, share the knowledge that we have for these picks. That would be great. So with that being said, I hope your day is well, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.